Skyler Faith. What episode are we on?
Episode 45.
Yeah, we are.
Hi! Welcome to Randi's Facebook Live. I'm not entirely sure we cleared that music, but hey, I feel by now like that is public domain. Hi, welcome to Randi's Live. This is episode 45, and May the 4th it is. So May the 4th be with you. Listen, I'm convinced that this has been going on for a long time because the further we go, the more ridiculous we dress up for you. What? For us too, honestly. It's something super fun to do. So it's Star Wars Day. You know that. I have to tell you, we had five or six requests to do this when we started announcing that we were doing theme days like 80s Day and like all these different kids shows and stuff. Someone said, are you going to do May the 4th? And then another person said, are you going to do May the 4th? And then by the time like the fifth person said it, I thought, okay, well, we're going to do May the 4th. So here we are. Skyler Faith, how was your day?
Good.
I'm so impressed that you let me stick all of those pins in your hair. Seriously.
It did hurt.
Where's Aunt Dawn? Where's, let me see, is she on? Hold on, let me see.
15 minutes.
Or Aunt Sandra.
15 minutes to it?
Aunt
Yeah.
Natalie, who's there? Hi, Rizon. Hey, Randi. Yes, so do you know who you are? You know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You're Princess Leia, I guess. She's sweet.
You're not supposed to say that.
Oh, I wasn't supposed
Oh.
to say it. We'll fix it in post. You're supposed to, okay, Skylar wants you to guess who we are. Okay.
Okay,
you
hold
can
on.
Guess. Okay, so there's Skylar.
Let's get a picture of
You
Skylar.
get points for spelling it correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And then, in true Halloween fashion, we like to do this. Who am I?
I was thinking we could be Star Wars.
People will guess. Do. Hi, Jeff. Hi, Colin. Anyway, so we're happy to be here today. Let's talk about yesterday. May the 3rd was not with us. May the 4th be with you, but May the 3rd was not with us. We had.
I wasn't expecting that.
We're just loopy at this point. We had terrible storms here in Nashville, which, oh my gosh, I was reading today that the winds were actually the force of a hurricane. They were hurricane-sized winds. What'd you say, honey? Like 60?
70.
78 miles an hour. So we didn't have power. We lost power at about 4:30, around 5, right around the time we were going to do our sound check. We do a sound check for the show, believe it or not. We do because we care. So the power went off, and sometimes, it goes off, it comes back on. It did not. The winds were unbelievable. We lost 5 shutters on our house, and it was crazy scary. Skylar and I got in the closet.
We did have a fun time doing it.
We had a fun time doing what?
Well, in it.
We were grounded and together, and we sat with the cat in the closet. But it's not funny because a lot of people in our neighborhood had some very serious damage. And then what I just learned before I came on Facebook Live was that a lot of people don't expect to have their power back in Nashville for 2 weeks. Imagine that, Skylar, right? Look, she can't handle it. She can't handle the truth. She
What?
cannot
I
handle
know.
2 weeks.
Ours was just out for like 12 hours, that's all.
I think the reason, I'm not sure, I don't know the reason. I can't actually say what the reason is, but
We woke up at 8 with the we still had the lights off, but the power was on.
lights came back on sometime in the middle of the night. They came on and off and on and off. So we will definitely have our wonderful guest Dave on again later this week. We weren't allowed. The producers in the network wouldn't let us have Dave on today because we planned all this. No, really. We had a theme going and I wasn't sure that he had a yoga costume. So we're going to check in with my good friend Dave later in the week. We have a lot of fun things planned. Let's talk about what we did today. Do you want to tell them anything we did today?
Sure. Well,
Go ahead.
it is Monday, but I didn't have school today.
You had another day off from school?
Yeah, this is what
Wednesday,
happened.
Tuesday too.
Your parents are awesome.
It was a Tuesday.
Wait, Mom, did you say Tuesday?
Tuesday. Listen, we're taking it day by day. We were taking it day by day. I didn't get to tell you what I did yesterday. We had a really nice Sunday. I was able to do buffets, drag brunch. That was super fun. It was a show right before the power went off. I sang a song and I got to check in with some friends, so that was awesome. But we're glad power's back on and we're happy to be here and check in with you. Should I see if people have, we have a mystery guest. We have 2 guests this evening and we have a mystery guest. And people are guessing. I'm going to let you know in a couple seconds if you're right. Well, I guess I won't need to let them know if they're right because they'll know when the guest comes on, right? Who else is there? Hi, New Jersey's in the house. Woo! Washington's in the house. Okay, Donna Gass gave you a thumbs up for the hair. So listen, Dee, we could have used you here, but all I did was I just wrapped it around one of those little circle things, and I just stuck a bunch of pins in there. And then I told her not to move for 45 minutes. So you're doing great, sweetheart. I love you.
I made her to.
So before we get to our first guest, we were thinking, you know, I try to do a theme song every night. I just try to do something that I'm feeling. And 45 episodes in, I have only recycled one song once, and I was like, I don't have a Star Wars song. We got into Star Wars a little bit later. And so I was like, what do I have? I mean, the whole thing I love about the Star Wars series movies are the sort of light versus dark. You know, that's right in my alley. But I was like, what am I going to do? I'm not going to do a ballad. I don't have any spaceman song. I don't have any songs about aliens.
But if you're singing like
But do, actually. And it is not a new song. And we're going to try it right now. The song is called Moon Unit. Johnny lived his life on a shelf, kept his money in a mattress, hid him very well, poked his head out the window to see the flying planes and to think of how he'd make his getaway. Johnny could live by himself, but he could live with nobody else. He swore the spaceships were landing on his satellite dish, and if he had $1 for every wish, make a pair of wings to get from here to there. But for now he'd settle for one of those things in the air. Johnny took his money out one day and he put it on the kitchen floor. And when the sun came up, 24 hours passed. He was a rich, rich man, very rich at last. Johnny was a king on top of his money, but he swore he heard something on the roof. So twice a day he'd climb up on the ladder and he'd look around for that pitter-patter. He said, those little spacemen are screwing up my dreams. I'll take my lightsaber out in their history. Johnny couldn't take it anymore, so he wandered down to the general store one day. Johnny said, there's something I'm needing to ask. Do you have anything like a spaceman trap? Well, the man just laughed and he shook his head. Johnny got mad and he slammed the door and he walked on back to his kitchen floor. But the pile was gone and he found instead a little paper that read, thanks, Johnny. Thanks for the money, all the money. Do you understand that song at all? It's about aliens, no? It's about a paranoid guy named Johnny who has a lot of money that he keeps stuffed under his mattress, but he thinks there are aliens. So he finally leaves the house one day. He's always like looking for him. I'm explaining the song to my daughter. It was written decades before she was born. And so he climbs up on the roof and he looks for the aliens and he doesn't find them. And he finally has had enough because he swears there are aliens. And so he wanders down to a general store to get a spaceman trap, as you do. And while he's gone, the aliens steal the money and they leave him a note that says, thanks, Johnny, thanks for the money. I have never, ever played that song on piano, but man, that was fun. Doo! That's supposed to be the alien noise. Doo! I don't know. It felt differently at Java Joe's when I was barefoot and hopping around and everything smelled like incense. It just felt different. Anyway, that was super fun. Okay, we have a great guest for you tonight. We have two guests for you tonight. It's very exciting. I'm going to check in with our Star Wars friends. And
wait, let's see.
Thanks for all the toys.
Thanks.
Hey, Suzanne.
Let's see if anybody knows who we are.
What? Oh, yeah. Skyler really wants you to play along. So if you can guess who we are, I would love for you to go ahead and put them in the comments. And if you see it before it pops up here, you know there's a little delay, then let me know. Also, big shout out to Laura Preble in San Diego who guessed our mystery guest tonight. Good job there. Woo! And speaking of, there's someone at the door. Let's see.
Who's here?
Who is it? Well, we're here. Oh, look who's here.
May the force be with you.
And also with, no, I don't know if you say that. It's Dude Vader. Yes, a fan favorite. We're so happy that the dude could check in with us tonight. Hey, Dude Vader, how are you?
It's a great day out here in California. And got up this morning, went to the blood bank, gave some blood for the San Diego Comic-Con Museum, and feeling all refreshed and ready to go.
So tell me a little bit about this. One of the things that I love about following your journey and all of the things you do, I'm not just so impressed with the amount of fans that you have, the thousands upon millions now, people that just love you, but I'm so impressed and touched by all of the charity work that you do. Can you tell me a little bit about why Dude Vader finds that it's important to do this charity and what it means for him to do all of this?
Well, when I first started out, this was simply going to be a helmet and a Hawaiian shirt because Star Wars was going to start up in 2015. Then I got a letter from Lucasfilm, and I thought, oh my gosh, they're going to tell me to cease and desist. But they absolutely loved the idea of a gold Vader to do charity visits because it's less ominous than Darth Vader. So now I do about 100 events a year. Most of them are 5Ks in this outfit. When I started 5 years ago, I was 220 pounds. I'm now 160.
Wow.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah, the original outfit was made all from kids' Star Wars toys. Kids from all over the world send me their discarded toys. Well, the problem is that the outfit got to be about 55 pounds.
Wow.
So imagine doing a 5K carrying a Sparklets water bottle.
Well, I had read that and I saw that original. I mean, so creative the way you put this whole steampunk costume together. So incredibly creative. And the fact that you did use these kids' toys, I mean, that was just such just a way to do a shout out of a love for the brand, right? But also it just looked so cool. So how many versions of this costume have we seen, dude? How many costumes?
Okay, so it changes every week.
Wow.
So this is probably about the 500th version. A year ago, the Bandai Toy Company, the Japanese version of Star Wars, they said, well, why don't you do a samurai version? So they sent me a 3D printer and the program, and I 3D print the whole outfit. And so now it's about 25 pounds instead of 55 pounds.
Wow.
And for every charity event, I print up a different helmet crest. This is the coronavirus. You see behind me, all of those are helmet crests from the past.
Wow.
So when I finish doing a 5K or a hospital visit, what's really fun is kneeling down to a kid, pulling out my clippers, clipping off the helmet crest and giving it to the kid.
Yeah,
Wow.
I can't, that's just so beautiful and so touching. So am I right then to assume that all of those things hanging behind you are many of the different art that's been part of your costume? Is that what we're seeing behind you?
Yeah, those are all the helmet crests. All those circles are helmet crests.
Wow.
So there are various 5Ks, there's charities, there's Comic-Cons, there's walks for the women's breast cancer, there's heart walks. If you look around, you'll see that each one, I've designed the helmet crest specifically for their event.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, you have really turned this whole part of being loved by the fans, and I mean certainly Comic-Con and all of these events, you've really turned it into this giving thing. I mean, this morning you just gave blood, which I can't imagine it was too easy to do in that costume, but you did it, huh? And then...
Well, we did it with just the helmet.
Oh, wow.
Because it would have been a little hard to get the line going in through the costume.
Yeah.
But it was really good because the blood banks are really in desperate shape now because
Yes.
they've been shut down for almost a month. And now they're opening up. And so if you get a chance, call your local blood bank, wherever you are in the world. We all need new, fresh blood.
Okay, that's good. That's a very good service announcement. What else have you seen during this time? You obviously geared up and you're in your armor and you're in your costume. What have you seen going on in San Diego during this time? Are people observing the 6 feet? Are they actively, doing the social distancing? Are you able to tell us a little bit about that? Because I'm sure the viewers are interested.
It really kind of varies.
Yeah.
Now, what's really fortunate about California, we're a tight lockdown state. So
Right.
I don't think we're going to have as big a second curve.
Right.
And, the San Diego beaches are open, all the beaches, because when they first opened up, everybody practiced social distancing.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, up in Huntington Beach in LA, they had to re-shut everything down.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so we're really not having the protest or anything that you're getting in a lot of locations. And I think some of the people in San Diego are starting to get a little fashionable with their face masks. So it's kind of fun to see what people are wearing. There's everything from cutouts to T-shirts to, when I show up with this at Costco, it's a little intense for some people, but everybody gets a kick.
No, come on, let's be honest. You've got about one of the coolest face masks we've seen. So, wow. And Skyler Faith is loving it. You're dripped in gold, so that's amazing. I think it's so beautiful that you've turned this character into a do-gooder, and when you even just Google Dude Vader, what comes up is that you do charitable work with this, and we certainly need this right now. We're seeing so many sad stories in the news and so much hurt and pain in the news, but what I love is that we're seeing so many people come together, and it's a time when people are reaching out. Do you have any advice for anyone about what you've seen and what we could do a little bit more of? The blood bank is I'm glad you brought that up because I don't think that's something that's on people's minds right now. Anything else that you think people can
Okay, well,
really
if you're a cosplayer,
Yes.
if you like Spider-Man or Cinderella or something like that,
Yes.
tomorrow at Rady's Children's Hospital, for the kids who have birthdays tomorrow, we're doing drive-by on the street to where we will be costumed from the waist up, waving out the window to the kids up in the hospital wards.
Yes.
So it really helps to check to see if there's a virtual event.
Yes.
Because that's what we're having to do. Usually, I do maybe 1 or 2 5Ks a weekend.
Right.
Well, obviously, we can't do them anymore because of social distancing. So they are doing virtual 5Ks. So what you do is you log in and register like you would do for, let's say, the Heart Association or Cystic Fibrosis or Rady's Children's Hospital, and then you video you doing a walk. In fact, 2 days ago, we did Walk for Animals, and I walked my chickens out in the yard.
That's awesome. Oh, this makes me so happy. I've known a little bit about Dude Vader as being incredibly artistic and incredibly creative, so it's not surprising to Randi Driscoll at all that you came up with a way to sort of blend this art, this artistic design that you have, and do it to pay it forward. And just what you're doing with the kids, what you're doing with all those amazing charities. I'm seeing the ribbons behind you. It's really moving, and I really appreciate, we have so many people online. You're getting so many hearts and loves on Facebook, all the little smiley faces blowing up.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. I really appreciate you taking the time. I know this is a busy day for you in your world, so I appreciate you taking the time to check in. Is there anything you want to leave us with before we say goodnight?
If you go to Facebook, go to Dude Vader.
Yes.
If you have a charity and you want me to do one of these virtual videos, I would love to do it. Just, Facebook, send me in the message section of Facebook. Let me know which charity it is and what time. And remember the time of day, because I just got a call a couple of minutes ago wanting to do a live video, and it was from India, from New Delhi. And so I said, remember the time difference. because Dude Vader is very big in India right now.
Wow, I'm not, listen, you're not surprising me at all. Well, I appreciate that. I know you're going to get a lot of requests, especially now when we can virtually reach out to people, to characters like you, where the fans can really connect. And the fact that you're bringing smiles to so many kids and so many people right now when we all need it just makes me so happy to know you, happy to be associated with the work you're doing. And there's a lot of people on right now that are thinking back to a couple years ago and sending you a lot of love. So thanks for checking in with us tonight.
Thank you. And someday we've got to do our own video together.
You better. You better.
You do the music, and I'll maybe do a little song and dance.
I love it. That sounds like a plan. I'm going to start working on it tonight. All right. You stay safe and keep doing the wonderful work. We're so happy that you were here with us tonight, okay?
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. That's Dude Vader. How did we get that lucky, huh? So cool. Bye-bye, friend. Wow. Amazing, amazing. So there's a few people online right now that probably know the backstory of my connection with Dude Vader. Just an all-around amazing character, really, really popular in, like you said, the cosplay world, and fans from all over the place. And it is really amazing that, I know a lot of incredibly creative and remarkable people, but what they are able to do, he really did put that costume together at first with children's toys, like old children's toys. And he made it together, like he told you, it was a gazillion pounds, and it was hard for him to wear. But people caught on to this idea, and he used it, to forward these ideas of charity and doing good. And that's right in line with the theme of dark versus evil and good versus bad. And so I'm super thrilled that we could have him on. What did you think? That was crazy, right? So cool. Like a super steampunk Darth Vader. Yep. Dun, 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 ba, 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 da, 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 da. Let me see what else is on. We're getting a lot of folks from the John and Josie's. Hey, Becky. Hi, John. Nice to see you. It's pretty cool up in here. Are you seeing anyone over there with the... should we show them you yet, or do you want to do that later? I just want you to know that my cameraman, my husband, Andrew...
Well, I'm falling apart right now.
You are falling apart. He also dresses up. Even though he's on camera for like 2 seconds, when we have a theme night, he dresses up. I also want you to know that because we're observing the social distance, you've probably figured this out already. We are only using things that are in our house.
That's right.
No, we didn't order anything off of Amazon.
Can I explain a couple things?
This is not my shirt.
Yeah, so hold on.
This is not a dress.
No, that is just a
That's
shirt,
just a
mummy
t-shirt.
shirt.
Just a t-shirt.
That is not a lightsaber, is it?
No, that's just
It's
a pencil
just
that
a
used to light up.
San Diego pen. Oh, hey.
Wait,
We'll get back to that.
There's someone at the store.
Slight pause. It'll
It's
come
okay.
eventually. There he is. There he is.
Yay! Oh, so good. Fitting right in with the theme.
Yeah.
So this is my friend Shane from Campus Pride. It's so nice to see. Okay, I have to be honest. It looks kind of like there's someone else in the. It's kind of creepy. Is it a puppet or a mask?
It's actually a little backpack
Okay.
that you can wear to the park or something.
Yes. Yes, you can. It's so good to see you. I was telling the viewers that one of the first people to sort of, we had like 5 or 6 people that were like, oh my gosh, if you're doing theme, you have to do Star Wars for May the 4th. And it hadn't even dawned on me, but you were actually the first one. I know you love the theme, my friend, so you were the first one. So good. Hey, it's nice to see you. Tell our viewers, my friends that are on tonight with us, tell them where you are calling in from.
Sure, I live in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yes, you do.
And I am in my house.
Yes.
We're still sheltered in place.
Yeah, so one of the things we've been doing with all of the guests we've had from all over the country and even internationally now, what are things like, I just like to ask, what are they like? Because it's so different all over the country, it's so different. So what are things like where you are?
Well, here in Charlotte, I really haven't left the house much.
Right.
I have a wonderful husband who goes out and does all the grocery shopping and pretty much runs every errand that is essential for us.
Mm-hmm.
I've been spending my days really working here on Campus Pride stuff. And
Yes.
You were part of my my drag queen show.
So fun. So
So I've just been using, my day-to-day as a time to, be creative
Yes.
and to think about like what ways I could bring kind of joy or happiness to other people.
Yes, I know. And so my connection, for those that don't recognize the name when I introduced you, the way that we know one another is through Campus Pride and the work that I've done with your wonderful organization and all of these, specifically for me, the summer camps that you put on for these incredibly forward-thinking youth that are honestly changing the world, that are spreading love and learning how to commit themselves to anti-bullying and sort of all of the things that I've tried to support and uplift, on my musical journey. I was trying to remember back because we were laughing the other day about how long we've known one another, how many years, going back to when it was. Did I sing at, I think I must have sung at one of the first camps. Is that true or thereabouts?
You were at the first camp in 2007.
That's what I thought.
I knew you obviously through your work with the Matthew Shepard Foundation.
Right.
Obviously, Judy is a good friend.
Yes.
And Greg.
Yes, Greg. Yes, we love Greg. And Judy, of course. That's what I thought, though. I thought I was at, and then I continued to do these camps for years. And so tell us a little bit about Campus Pride and then kind of what's going on with your organization right now. We always do a shout out. We try to do shout outs and highlights to charities. And this is one that's very near and dear to my heart. So obviously we're going to put all the information up about the organization, but tell us a little bit about what Campus Pride does. What do you do?
Well, thank you. Can I give a big shout out to Princess Leia over there? Princess Leia, you look beautiful over there. I love it. So Campus Pride is a national organization. We are actually based in the South, in Charlotte. Yes. We work with about 1,400 different colleges across the country. To build future leaders and to create safer, more inclusive campus communities. So a lot of our programs are really leadership based around social justice, around things that we don't talk often enough about is like integrity and leadership and how to have a moral compass and to think about how we can give back to others and our own self-care as well. So that's an important component to the work that we do at Campus Pride.
Yes.
We oftentimes, I think, as an LGBTQ community, talk about depression and suicidality and mental health harms, which are very important. But we don't realize that by giving students the tools of leadership, by giving them coping mechanisms, we can actually prevent them and from becoming into these mental health harms that can hurt them. And so Campus Pride maybe doesn't deal with the young person who is, who needs the helpline right away. We deal with the young person who is, who we give skills to or gives resources to that they can become a better leader and hopefully, not get to the point where, they need a helpline. So, it's leadership development work and then creating safer communities for college campuses. So we have an index that looks at how LGBT friendly colleges are.
Yes.
We have a number of online tools. So, that's what we do. And you mentioned camp. So our camp program is in its 14th year.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. And you've come to at least, I think, 9 of them.
Yes.
Like it was a good number.
No, great experience. Yes.
And that happens in July usually. This summer, I'm not for sure if we're going to be able to have it. But it's a great time. It brings together about 100 young people to from across the country.
Yes, it is and all the young people that are part of it, and the leaders and the speakers and the performers. Everyone is just very forward thinking and also empowering. You just feel empowered to be there among a group of people that want the world to look better. You are one of several charities that I'm involved with that base a good portion of what they do around a summer experience, specifically like a camp, And I have to say, Shane, everyone's in the same boat trying to figure out what the camp experience is going to look like this year. It's heartbreaking, because it is such even the word camp is bringing people together to be in one place. You're sleeping in the dorms. You're, down in it's hard. But, so who knows what could happen with that. It's funny, too, let me just quickly, a little aside. It was coming to the Campus Pride event. I think, did we have it at Belmont here in Nashville? Couple years in a row, right? Was it Belmont or Vandy? It was Vandy, yeah. I remember I would circle around Nashville, and I'd been coming here also to do some shows and stuff, but now every time I pass that area, I think of Campus Pride. Really positive experience. So what are you doing now to kind of raise awareness? Because I know nonprofits are hurting a lot right now. You know, it's not an easy time for anyone, and we always preface this part by saying we understand that people are having a hard time everywhere, so this isn't necessarily an ask. It's more like making these nonprofits accessible and just shining a light on them. So tell me about tomorrow and some of the things that you're doing to support this organization in this difficult time.
Sure. So in March, we had a number of our volunteer students decide that they wanted to do kind of a virtual space. So
Yes.
we've been engaging our young people, who follow us on social media, on weekly chats on Instagram mostly. And, we've had makeup Mondays where they, put on makeup together. And it was really just to kind of create a safe space for maybe queer young people who don't feel, welcome at home, or maybe feel more isolated because they don't have their friends.
Right.
And so, that's how we've been trying to create a sense of community. Tomorrow is actually Giving Tuesday, which
Yes.
is a global giving and unity day. And so we're testing out some technology. We're actually doing an old school telethon,
Yes.
which you'll be on, I believe, around 4:30
Yep.
Eastern Standard
Woohoo.
Time. But we're going to have entertainers. We're going to have some of our LGBTQ young people giving testimonials, and one of the young people are going to do some more makeup and like how to be a drag queen type of tutorial. And all the while, we're going to obviously celebrate, Pride and being LGBTQ, but encourage people to give $10 or $25 or whatever on Giving Tuesday. And so, that's our goal, is to take everything that we do and, try our best to continue doing it, but just in more of a virtual manner.
Right, that's amazing, and we will totally put up all the information. Even when we close out with you, Shane, you're welcome to put all that info and links and stuff. This is a hard time for everyone, and even people that, I've heard directly from people who have said, I haven't ever known myself to experience any sort of depression, but this is new to me. I'm having a hard time. So if we feel so much for anyone that feels any type of isolation. And the othering and the bullying doesn't go away just because we're under a pandemic, right? We still have to understand that we are all worthy of love. This is something that is just underlining in every note I sing. We are all worthy of love. And so the fact that you've dedicated your life and your work to doing this, and now we just have to figure out how to do it in a different new reality. I commend you, and I commend your staff for coming up with new ways. And I love a telethon. Please. I'm just sorry we're not going 24 hours. I know you're not, but next one we're going to go 24 hours.
Next time.
Well, thank you for being here. Let me ask you, I always like to ask some questions. I'm going to ask you the big one because we like to get some perspective. And you can have as much fun with it, or you can be serious. But what, as a takeaway, what have you learned? Knowing a little bit of your background and what you do with your life and what you're committed to as an entertainer, but also as an educator. What have you learned during this time that we can take with us?
I think one of the most valuable lessons I learned is that there is a blessing even in the most darkest or the worst time. And I try to look for that blessing. I think it helps give you hope.
Yes.
And for me, that blessing has been really being able to refocus and kind of rekindle a spirit, whether it be creativity or innovation, and thinking about, what does the next 5 years, 10 years, where do I personally want to go? Where can Campus Pride go in the next 5 or 10 years? And really taking this time to be, in tune with your mind and where your creativity or innovation will lie. So I think that's something I've learned, because I don't oftentimes slow down, right? I'm so wrapped up into doing other things. So just to slow down and take it in, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I think that you're, that's great perspective. That's why I asked the question, because it's so interesting to get people's perspective. Well, thank you for all that you do to keep love moving and grooving. And I will see you tomorrow on the telethon, virtually see you. And big love. Thanks for having me, and thanks for coming on the show. And you stay safe. Yes, I just.
The fourth be with you.
Yeah,
Love you,
really.
Randi.
It's creepy, a little creepy. I love you too. Thank you so much. Have a great night. Okay.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
Bye, Skyler.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So I didn't want to say it, but one of the old Muppets. You know those two Muppets.
Can I
Skylar, come here.
Can I
You wanna
fix it?
No, Skylar
Mom,
wants
can
to
you
fix
fix
it.
that,
Come here,
Sky?
come here. Come on, you can fix
Her
it.
makeup.
My makeup. Come
She
on, you can
touched.
fix it.
She smudged.
I smudged mine. By the way, no
Look.
one guessed me. They
I
guessed
know.
you.
Look at. See that? We're gonna fix that right
Look,
now.
It's her mother. I'm her mother.
So
Get
get this
it?
one over here.
Do you
Get
wanna
this
fix it?
side.
Go ahead.
Just the bottom part. Yep.
Oh, did you
Oh,
make it-
oh,
is
oh.
it
Hold
worse
on,
now?
hold on. I'll reach
Well,
in.
this seems like it would be a really good chance
No, no,
for you
I
to
got
turn
it.
around. You want to turn it around
Oh,
and
yeah.
show Daddy? Okay.
Okay.
Hey, thanks for tuning in tonight. The information about the Campus Pride event tomorrow will be in a link in these comments tonight. Tomorrow is Giving Tuesday. I cannot believe it. That's happened already. And there's lots of charities that we believe in and love.
Oh,
And
sorry.
if you're able to, you're coming apart. You can certainly give if it's possible, and if not, you can just support them by finding out what they're doing and put a pin in it and get back to them later. Thanks to our guest tonight, dude Vader. That was a blast from the past.
You're gonna take
I
the
loved it so
camera.
much.
Oh,
Thanks to my
I
daughter for letting me put 19,000 pins in her head today. She'll be so happy when this is over. Thanks to everyone for playing. Thanks for the people that guessed our mystery guest. That was fun. We're totally gonna do that again.
So we gotta show Daddy.
We're gonna show Daddy. Okay, just right on him, right there, just right on him.
That's it. There's a lot of.
I just want you guys to know that Daddy's costume is made of a bed sheet.
That's right.
And
That's
I'm
all we
falling
had.
apart, my makeup's falling apart. But remember that we practiced social distancing and we didn't go out. No, we made these entirely from what we had at home. I have a necklace on my head. That's right. May the fourth be with you. Come here, girl. Come here, girl. Let's tell them what we want to say. Your Nope.
Nope.
Your
Take two.
vibe. Your what? Your vibe attracts your tribe, and we love our tribe. We've lost our minds. We'll see you tomorrow for Two for Tuesday. We're gonna have a lot of fun tomorrow. We're gonna have a lot of fun until this is over. Take care of one another. We love you. Bless y'all. Big hugs. Thanks, Shane. Thanks, Dude Vader. Bye.